After 4 years in office, Premier Sujantangs says he's stepping down. Police caught on camera celebrating a birthday party for a gangster. More than 2,000 repair requests for a public housing complex in Taipei were filled just 1 month after the residents moved in. Plus,
I'm Stash Butler in Taipei and I'm meeting a Michelin star winning chef to cook up a classic Lunar New Year dish.
A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Yin Khvat. Taiwan's Premier, Sujantangs, has resigned. Su is leaving after more than 4 years in the job. He's Taiwan's longest-serving premier since 1996, when the country held its first vote for president. In a Facebook post announcing his resignation, Su said that serving Taiwan's people as premier was the greatest honour of his life. He's resigning as part of a cabinet reshuffle aimed at freshening up the government before next year's general election. The ruling Democratic Progressive Party has not said who will replace Su as premier, but pundits say Taiwan's former Vice President Tseng-chang is most likely to take over. As Premier Su takes his leave, our reporter Stash Butler looks back at his political career and the legacy he leaves behind.
It's the end of the line for Taiwan's premier. In his 4 years in office, Sujantangs has led the government through unprecedented challenges. But now he's stepping down to make way for new faces before next year's general election. Sujantangs is a giant of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, famous for his fiery character, his energetic speeches, and his balding pate, features that won him the nickname the light bulb. Su's seemingly boundless energy has been a feature of Taiwanese politics for decades. In 1986, he was one of the DPP's 18 founding members. In the years following, he held an array of high-profile roles, including Taiwan Premier in 2006, returning to the position for a second time in 2019. One of his first acts in the job was to push through a law legalizing same-sex marriage, something he passionately supported.
无论你是同性恋或异性恋，我们都同样生活在这块土地上，都处于同一个天地之间，我们都是同一国的。我由衷的期待大家包容的接受不同，友善的对待彼此。我们永远都在防疫中，我们天天都在打仗。
When the COVID pandemic hit, Su was instrumental in Taiwan's rapid response, which won admiration from around the world.
我们一起对抗病毒，渡过难关，打赢这一战。
Seen as more charismatic than President Tsai Ing-wen, Su also became the face of public information campaigns. Here, he warns against panic buying toilet paper, saying, "We've each only got one butt." But he's also faced criticism for unpopular government policies.
The job of premier is often called on to take blows to the president or to enact controversial policy, but Su is able to do that while also maintaining his own reputation, but also ties.
Despite that, Su's party faced crushing defeat in Taiwan's recent local elections, prompting the DPP to freshen up the cabinet ahead of next year's presidential polls. That leaves Su out of a job, but he steps down a well-respected figure and Taiwan's longest-serving and oldest premier since the country became a democracy. Patrick Chen and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
Vice President Lai Ching-te has just taken office as chairperson of Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP. He's pledged several major reforms and vows to unite the DPP, but his job will not be easy, as Jeremy Olivier explains.
Rooting out party corruption, responding to the needs of young people, and preserving Taiwan's democratic system in the face of an increasingly aggressive China. Those were some of the main messages of Vice President Lai Ching-te's speech on Wednesday as he took office as chairperson of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP. The frontrunner for the party's nomination in the 2024 presidential election, Lai faces a tough road ahead as party chair. In recent months, support for the DPP has fallen sharply.
If you look at the numbers, the DPP just lose the trust from the so-called median voters. And that is because there's a lack of ability to respond to the major issues, the controversies during these years.
The DPP has blamed the decline in voter confidence on poor communication about its policies with the public. That position is echoed by some observers, who point to recent legislative milestones.
For example, recently they passed the land equalization right bill and also the climate change bill. So that's a major achievement of the ruling party. So they should do more to convince people that they can do a lot of things in that position.
But others have argued that the DPP's efforts at self-reflection still fall short. This includes criticism of a report the party released in December, which examined the reasons for its recent election losses.
There was no criticism of former party chair Tsai Ing-wen and her behavior and strategic choices. There was, I think that it didn't go far enough in addressing the disparities between the party's ground game and ability to communicate with grassroots voters at the local level with the KMT, which is far better and historically remains significantly better at it.
The DPP hopes that Lai, a widely popular politician in Taiwan, will be able to bring the party's different factions together and resolve some of their biggest issues. If he cannot, the DPP could be looking at an even bigger loss in 2024. Leon Lien and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's foreign minister says a Chinese invasion of Taiwan could happen in 2027 as Beijing looks to distract from domestic problems.
If you look at the Chinese situation right now, the economy is going down, the people are not happy, the real estate business seems to be melting down, the international community are not happy with what China has been doing, and therefore there's nothing for him to claim as his legacy at this moment. So we are concerned that in 2027, if Xi Jinping cannot change the situation domestically in China, he might want to resort to a use of force or creating crisis externally to divert domestic attention or to show to the Chinese that he has accomplished something. And we are concerned that Taiwan might become his scapegoat.
Joseph Wu made the comments in an exclusive interview with Sky News. China has been increasing its military pressure around Taiwan, flying more than 1,700 warplanes near the country in 2022. Beijing sees Taiwan as part of its territory and has vowed to take control of the country by force if necessary. Police in Taiwan's northern city of Keelung have been disciplined for attending a gangster's birthday party. It's the latest display of cozy relations between police officers and gang members, as Louise Watt reports.
Singing happy birthday at a party for a well-known local gangster. These people in civilian clothing are actually police officers from the 3rd Precinct in Keelung, a major port city in northern Taiwan. The party took place in this Keelung restaurant on January the 13th. 4 days later, the video of the singing officers was posted to a public Facebook group, sparking a police investigation. The police bureau now says a sergeant named Zheng invited 7 other officers to a dinner, claiming that the purpose was to consult with the gang leader.
郑姓小队长虽有报告，但申报内容不实，目的不符，庆生画面又遭他人录影转传，引起社会哗然，严重影响警誉，予以记过2次，改调制服警员。
Police also say they've given penalties, including demotion and desk duty, to the other 7 officers who attended the event. And reprimands and demerits were issued to 5 other senior officers for poor oversight. Keelung's mayor says he expects police to exercise better discretion.
作为一个警务人员，跟黑道黑社会之间的关系，应该要更有分际。 我们的廉政伦理规范也有详细的规定。
It's not the first time close social relations between police and reputed gangsters have come to light. There have also been cases of officers seen at entertainment venues operated by gangsters where drug dealing or prostitution might be going on.
Then often they give the excuse that, well, I was just gathering information about gangster operations in the entertainment industry, which of course nobody believes. So there's a risk that the police look the other way because they've developed too close a social relationship. And there's the other risk, which is tip-offs of upcoming raids at operations, gangster-run operations, whether that's entertainment, prostitution, gambling.
Some observers say corruption involving police can stem from low salaries. But there are also other reasons police may turn a blind eye to gangster activity.
As long as there isn't a lot of street crime in the neighborhood, because the gangsters are enforcing control over their turf, the local police might be happy with that as well, especially at the precinct level. But again, the problem is that this just continues, and then as police officers get promoted, they're maintaining these relationships, and then it just becomes a recurring problem.
Now it's come to light, the birthday celebration will join a list of controversies that have knocked public trust in the police. Eason Chen and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
More than 2,000 requests for repairs in a brand new public housing complex have been submitted to the government over the past few weeks. The complaints come from 380 families who only moved into the buildings last month. Yu Jinghuang has more.
Looking new and modern, the Neihu social housing complex in Taipei City welcomed its first group of tenants in mid-December. But occupants soon found the building conditions were far from ideal. After just several weeks there, residents had filed more than 2,000 requests for repairs.
阿嬷很怕，阿嬷不敢坐电梯，她就是怕困起来，就好像很多次没有打开吧。
Other problems included uneven ceilings and walls, stains in bathroom and public spaces, clogged pipes, and windows that didn't fit into the walls properly. Responding to the complaints, the Department of Urban Development said most of the complaints have now been taken care of. They also said the construction company responsible for the housing complex will do another inspection to check if more repairs are needed.
这个行善社宅的工程的这个部分，我们现在已经启动快速维修的机制。我们的物管单位会跟我们的营造厂去做，第1小时之内就会做会勘。那如果有需要备料的话，也会在6小时之内去赶快处理。通报的修缮数量23件也都已经处理完成。
Taiwan is aiming to build 120,000 public housing units by 2024, but the country has made a late start. While many other nations began planning social housing projects in the 1950s and 1960s. Taiwan only started doing so barely more than a decade ago. Currently, less than 1% of residential buildings in Taiwan are built as affordable housing programs. An NGO focused on living justice said the lack of experience in building these units is a primary reason for the poor quality of newer public housing.
社会住宅它是一种做中学的经验，就从透过盖的部分上不断累积 know how， 然后有些错误不断的修正、调整、学习、改变。如果你以后的这个未来的瑕疵，如果你超过多少的时候，也可能有相对应的一些处罚或什么的机制，就透过一个机制，让所有的营造厂商可能更确实的把房子盖好。
Experts agree that it's not enough for Taiwan to simply build the homes it needs. They need to be livable homes as well. Kamashi and Yu Jinghuang for TaiwanPlus.
According to tradition, being born under the same zodiac sign as the current year means bad luck is on the way. Our reporter Jeremy Olivier tells us how to avoid misfortune and improve your chances of a good year if you happen to be a rabbit in 2023.
Bad news for rabbits this year. No, not those furry little mammals. I'm talking about people whose zodiac sign is the rabbit. That's because it's considered bad luck if your sign matches the current zodiac year. Not to worry. There are some ways you can raise your chances of good fortune in 2023. Wearing red clothing or jade accessories is one. Cleaning your home before the holiday is another. But before you do any of that, you'll need to visit a local temple to pacify Tai Sui, or An Tai Sui in Chinese. Tai Sui is the name given to the guardian god for a given year, and if that just so happens to be your year, your mere existence is offensive to him. Happily, placating him is a pretty streamlined process, and most temples have guides or volunteers that can help walk you through it.
我们第一就来我们有一个申请表，那在申请表我们就依照我们上面所写的，要把名字写好、地址，还有他出生年月日写好了以后，就可以到柜台报名，给他安太岁。
Once you've paid the nominal fee, which at most temples is around $15 to $20, it's time to grab some incense and pray.
拜拜就是从祝生娘娘，我们是主神是天上圣母，由天上圣母这边往上拜，拜到玉皇大帝，然后再下来，刚好绕一圈，然后到2楼安好太岁，刚好有一个太岁符啊，给他带在身上保平安的太岁符，他可以到2楼那边去过个香火，顺时间的过香火，然后放在自己的身上。
The last step is to light blessing lamps, called ping'an-deng in Chinese. These are said to bring good fortune to those whose names are written on them. Although Taiwan is a very modern society, long-standing traditions like pacifying Tai Sui are still followed by many. It's been made more convenient over the years. For example, most temples allow you to complete the process and pay the fee online, or through an ATM. Every year, temples are packed with people looking to make good with the guardian god. Recently, some are even bringing their pets to the temple to pacify Tai Sui as well. But most just come for themselves and their family members, hoping to ensure that the year to come is as auspicious as possible. Andy Xue and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Coming up, pricey petals. Flower prices surge amid heightened demand ahead of the Lunar New Year.
This year, TaiwanPlus News presents a series of holiday specials to help you ring in the Year of the Rabbit.
Have a fantastic Year of the Rabbit.
Happy Year of the Rabbit.
From all of us at TaiwanPlus News, Happy New Year!
TaiwanPlus, Happy New Year!
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. In top international news, Microsoft is set to cut 10,000 jobs, becoming the latest technology giant to lay off staff as part of cost-cutting measures. The layoffs account for less than 5% of the company's workforce. Microsoft has more than 220,000 employees worldwide. The announcement comes as technology giants tighten their belts in response to weaker economic conditions. This week, Amazon began laying off 18,000 workers. Late last year, Facebook's parent company, Meta, announced it was cutting more than 11,000 jobs. A Lithuanian technology firm has signed a deal to access Taiwanese semiconductor technology. The deal with Teltonika is worth $15 million and includes a nearly $11 million grant from Taiwan's government. Teltonika says it hopes to use the agreement to launch domestic production of semiconductors by 2027. Lithuania has been a vocal supporter of Taiwan, which has drawn retaliation from China. Last year, Beijing imposed sanctions on Lithuanian goods in response to the opening of a de facto Taiwanese embassy in the Lithuanian capital, Vilnius. The president of the Philippines has said his country made contingency plans to evacuate Philippines citizens from Taiwan in August last year after China staged live-fire drills around Taiwan's coasts. Ferdinand Marcos Jr. made the comments in an interview with the Financial Times. Around 157,000 Filipinos live in Taiwan. China conducted 4 days of live-fire drills around Taiwan last year after then US Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi visited Taipei. She was the highest-level US official to visit the country in 25 years. In the interview, Marcos also described the rise in US-China tensions over Taiwan as very, very worrisome. Feasts are an essential part of the Lunar New Year. So to get into the holiday spirit, our reporter Stash Butler set out to cook a festive dish with some help from the very best.
Lunar New Year is a holiday filled with symbolic foods. You've got fish symbolising excess, dumplings symbolising gold, and mandarins symbolising good luck. Now, I've eaten all of those things at a Lunar New Year feast, but I've never once prepared a festive dish. Luckily, I'm going to meet an expert who will show me how.
嗨，大家好，新年快乐！我是 Max， 我是金华酒店的中餐厨艺总监。那今天很开心，带大家一起来逛这个南门市场。
所以师傅，为什么我们来到南门市？我们要买什么食材这样子？
对，因为 Chinese New Year 也是中国的新年，我们看到这满满的红色，都是非常的喜气。那我们这一次要来看一些年货，来顺便教大家准年菜这样。
Maxwell works at the Regent, one of Taipei's fanciest hotels. Before he started there, he'd already won a Michelin star at a restaurant in Japan. Today, we're making something from his hometown, Hong Kong, cured sausage over rice.
我想看一下那个广式的腊肠，对，瘦一点。
All explains how he looks for quality ingredients.
因为现在人都不想太肥啊，所以它那个比例是我们刚才说3-7，对，7成的瘦肉。 3成的肥肉这样。那首先腊肠，顾名思义，腊肠就是要封得够干身呐。然后闻一下有没有那个香气，闻一下，哎，有没有那个香气？对，它有一些酒的味道在里面，那它有一个去腥增香的效果了。
And now on to the next meat.
我们是用什么肝？鸭肝。鸭肝，对。
鸭肝嘛。
啊，它最主要是用加猪肉。对。啊，因为它一定要加点猪肉，它没有猪肉就太柴了，就不够滑。
And our final ingredient.
这个就是鸭腿，对啊，鸭腿呢，它就是用盐把它腌过。那这边可能它会加一点点胡椒啊什么的，也是加一点酒，那也是把它风干。
一份这样子吗？
对对对，一份这样，两条加一个鸭腿。
Max tells me he's been enjoying this dish for decades.
我很喜欢的，非常爱的一个过年的菜，而且我自己家里面也会过年也会煮。
哦，真的吗？
对对对。
这是你最喜欢的过年的菜吗？还是有其他的？
我最喜欢的过年菜之一。
That certainly bodes well for our meal later. Maxwell gives me a quick tour of the market before we head out.
我们先买这些，然后我们回去做我们的那个腊味饭。好。这个香肠我们先要拿去出一下水，把它表面的油脂去掉。
Next, everything needs to be steamed with a little chopped onion and sauce.
15分钟。好，我们来试一下。
Then it's time to get chopping. All first shows me how it's done, and then hands over to me.
斜一点。斜一点。
就是这样。Clearly, I'm not very good at it. Thankfully, I get a chance to redeem myself with the second kind of sausage.
哎，有进步哦，可以啊。
You can see the concentration. Maxwell approves.
你过年有没有工作？有排工作吗？
可以打工吗？
可以，很有天分啊。
谢谢。
待会那个拍完以后填一下履历表。
Once the duck is chopped and ready, we arrange everything on the glutinous rice Wall has prepared.
不好看的部分都是我做的。没有，都可以，蒸出来都好吃就好了。
And then we steam it.
它在蒸的时候呢，它那个辣味的那个油啊，那个油脂，它就会蒸到那个饭里面。所以那个饭就很好吃。
The finishing touches are green onion and a dash of peanut oil. Another minute in the steamer and it's done. 2 types of Guangdong-style sausage with duck leg, rice, peanut oil, and lotus leaves.
我们的围着一圈，跟这个圆圆的猪肉，它就代表团团圆圆，跟圆圆满满，新年的寓意。
So there you have it, Guangdong sausage over rice from the kitchen of a Michelin star-winning chef. Now, Maxwell's cooking here sets a very high bar, but if you can come anywhere near it, you're in for a very tasty Lunar New Year. Howard Dung, Sandy G, and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
People buying flowers for the upcoming Lunar New Year are in for a bit of a surprise. Prices have gone up recently, even doubling in the case of especially prized flowers. John Van Trieste takes us to a Taipei flower market to see what effect this is having.
It's the busiest time of year at Taipei's Jianguo Holiday Flower Market. Usually open only on weekends, it's open every day in the run-up to the Lunar New Year because of the high demand. This year, stall holders are charging a premium, in part due to supply issues. Moth orchids, a seasonal favorite, have doubled in price. A set of 20 will now set buyers back close to $170 US.
像前一波的选举，需求跟过年太接近了，之前的疫情，很多的因素刚好掺杂在一起，所以造就了以大花类的来说，它是20年来最贵的一次。
Some say higher costs are dampening demand.
珍珠菊的话都涨到2成左右，因为竹柏的部分大概也都涨到了3成。黄金万两的话，今年就是没有涨价的，今年买气有下滑到2到3成。
But here at the market, there are still those willing to pay.
我每年都要买兰花啊，因为那过年嘛，然后摆佛堂啊，家里就很喜气吉祥。
黄色的大吉大利，对，而且它金光闪闪的，我觉得好漂亮。大家都就是普遍都上涨嘛，所以就习惯了。
That means the vendors here, at least, can bank on a prosperous start to the Year of the Rabbit. Damon Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of ultra runners making their first running ascent of Antarctica's Mount Vision. I'm Yin Khvat. Take care and wishing you a very happy Chinese New Year.